What's going on, guys? Before the podcast starts, I just want to let you guys know that we have some awesome deals all week at hostile.com. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out the website, check out all our good products, check out some new clothing that we got coming in and the old clothing that you guys all love. Make sure you check out this week, though, because for you guys that have been loyal followers and buyers of the brand, this is our chance to say thank you. And for you guys that have been on the fence because you don't want to necessarily spend a little bit of extra money it costs, this gives you a chance to check out Hostile and what we're all about and really feel the difference in our products. Okay. So this week, Black Friday, we're going to run sales every single day, all the way, I think, right through Monday. So check it out, hostile.com. And when you guys get the products, if you're new, let me know what you think. Let me know how you like them. And if you're not, you guys have been on board for a while, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it going forward. James messaged me, said he saw the episode and he was happy that he missed it because we were fighting. And I said, honestly, I'm embarrassed about what happened. Like lost complete control of the podcast. And it's like, that's not what this podcast is about, right? Like,
well, I've got a text from you like 2 hours and 10 minutes in, and you said, I've lost control of my own podcast.
Well, I don't like, it's not that, this podcast is not supposed to be a debate. It's not supposed to be an argument. It's supposed to be like, the way I like this thing to go is that people share their ideas. And I feel embarrassed that I was fighting so hard about my ideas. This is the thing. I still hold true to what I said. I still think anybody who is the greatest at their selected genre does not have balance. And I will go to my grave with that, because I mean, I can look at the proof is in actions, right? Like when you look around the body, we'll take bodybuilding, for example. You look at Dorian Yates and then you look at Chris Cormier, right? And this is what James said. I asked James today because when I said I was embarrassed that the show got out of hand, he said people loved it and it's better when there's no control and it's just out of hand. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it went too far for too long. It was a 30-minute fight. And I did get some DMs from people that were like, 4 people may be too many, and it got a little too intense or whatever. And I do agree with those people. But then I asked James, I'm like, okay, well, now that we have that established, I'm like, what do you think about the whole balance argument? And James is like, just look at Chris Cormier. That's a guy who tried to have balance, and he was great, but who knows what he could have been. Right. And I thought that was a great example. He said, and then look at and I don't know this for sure, so I don't want to name any other names, but he named a couple other bodybuilders that were very good.
Well, Kevin's got to be the obvious one, right?
I think Chris Cormier is the most obvious one, because he was known as the party guy.
Well, I mean, like, outside of the one you already spoke about, Chris.
Cedric is a great example. Cedric, but it's not see, people think this whole balance thing is a derogatory term. It's not. Cedric has a lot going on. He's got 4 kids. He's got the army. He's got all this stuff that he's got to do. So he's spread thin.
Yeah. But then equally, would you put yourself in that category? Because I remember talking to you and we were discussing Patrick, right? And you said, maybe if I was 30 and running and gunning again, Patrick would have been, because you do like to have your balance, right?
I would 100%.
Especially now.
Listen, Ben, this is the reason I'm saying this. I am 100% the guy I'm talking about.
Right. That's what I mean. That's why I'm kind of I'm softening the bloke where you're calling off, because I'm saying you're placing yourself in that category too. Yeah.
Because I've said to people many times, I am like a 90%er. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to eat kale, and I'm not going to go to yoga, and I'm not going to there's certain things I'll go to the end of the world for, but there's certain things but at the same time, 90% is still not balanced. Like there's a lot of things my wife wanted to do. Like I want to go on vacation. I want to go to dinner. I want to go, and I'm like, I can't, I want to go on a road trip. I want to do like all these, and I'm like, I can't, I gotta eat. I gotta have my meals. I gotta train. Like those things are all, that means that's a lack of balance. Right. So that's kind of where I was coming from with it. Now, whoever disagrees is fine. The point I'm trying to make is I don't ever want the show to be about to go that way again, because it's not. It should be more about like you share your idea, I share my idea, and we move on, right? Me and Cedric have a knack for arguing, though. We're like, I mean, I guess I have that knack with everybody, but was me and Cedric used to argue for like 8 hours at a time.
Yeah,
when we were working at SciTech. So
it's always a passive. The thing is, you say argument, it's always very passive.
Well, because we respect each other. We're just
right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets lost into it. It's quite a civil debate, but it's there's it's not like a fuck you argument, but it's.
And normally on this show we do have a lot of those, but I think the last week I think got more intense, and I don't like that. I don't want
it was that and the duration, like you said, the 30.
Yeah, I mean, if it got intense and it was only 5 minutes long, that's one thing. But it was like 30. I was doing the timestamps. I'm like, this is 30 minutes we argued about this shit for.
Yeah, and every time that thing kind of happens, I just hang my head because I'm like, we're just gonna get tagged in shit now. It's gonna become a meme.
Nah.
Like the fork and the spoon thing became a meme.
Oh my god, that thing! So I still get tagged. I still get tagged in the spoon thing.
Now the top tier and elite thing has become a meme.
No, but some of them die and some of them don't. It's the fork and spoon thing. I feel like is so relatable and such a 50-50 thing that people just kind of keep it going. But I think the top tier thing and the balance thing
you're still wrong on the fork thing, but it's fine. It's just
you know what? It's funny. I ate my I was on the road last week and I had my cooler bag and I put a fork and spoon in my cooler bag because I had like a Greek yogurt meal, but I also had a rice and chicken meal. Yeah. And I lost my fork. And I'm sitting there eating my chicken and rice with a spoon. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this feels so wrong right now. I'm like,
did you almost want to put it away and on principle and not eat it?
Yeah.
Just hand fist it in.
Just stop eating, yeah.
Like if anyone sees me.
All right, let me listen. So this is why people are going to wonder why we're doing another podcast. We're doing another podcast because I felt bad that we argued for 35 minutes and we didn't really answer anybody's questions. We only answered like 5 questions and there was 500 of them. And I don't think that's not very good balance. So
this is balance.
I felt like I should go back and get you because you're the smart coach and we can, one of my clients messaged me today and he said he's upset that he's not heavier. And he wants to gain 25 pounds, but he only signed up for 8 weeks. And I'm like, I kind of put it to him today, like, look, you're a lot stronger and you look a lot better. Your weight hasn't jumped that much, but it's only been 2 weeks. Like, and I'm like, your strength has already gone up and you look better. And I'm like, secondly, I have to lower your expectations. You're not going to gain 25 pounds in 2 weeks unless you want me to get you fat. I'm like, if you want to get fat.
Yeah, if you do get, you can put that number on the scale, but it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. So I think a lot of times people, when they sign up for coaching or just when they're doing their own stuff, they have to manage their expectations because gaining 25 pounds in 2 months, I think a pound of that might be muscle, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 if you're a beginner. I don't know.
It's one of those things where I was talking to you about this. Everyone's freaking out because I've gone from I'm 274 right now, and everyone's oh, you've made so much progress. Wait a second, I just rebounded from a show. I mean, I could be 290 if I'd eaten like for the last 3 weeks. It's not because I was going back up in weight. So the expectation of adding on all that weight, it's not.
Yeah.
So you got to balance it out whether it's good weight or bad weight. Hey, Paul.
Uncle June, what's up?
Hi, Fouad.
Where's your glasses?
Right here, hang on.
I won't do this podcast with you unless you wear your glasses.
So I got a question because, Fouad, you normally start every podcast with what's going on, and you kind of address everyone else and then leave yourself out.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you? I know a certain amount. I don't know where you wanted to discuss things, but.
Well, thank you, Ben. Nobody ever asked me how I'm doing.
You're welcome.
Paul, you know what I love? Paul, you're sitting so close to the camera. It's amazing. Sorry. No, stay there. It's good.
You like
my dad does that on FaceTime, but it's like when I call my dad on FaceTime, I get like this.
That plus the glasses is amazing. You're like
Well, when we do shows, I like to get in close.
Yeah.
So that's probably when you'll see that. Yeah, you'll see that view more.
Okay, we'll get
What are you
to
guys talking about?
we're talking about managing expectations because some people start their programs or people sign up for for coaching and they expect to gain like 25, 30 pounds in a couple months, and I'm like, it doesn't work like that unless that 25 or 30 pounds is going to be fat.
Well, and how many are honestly being consistent with your programs day in and day out too?
But we're saying, assuming everybody's doing everything they're supposed to, you're still not going to gain 25 pounds in 2 months unless a large percentage of it is fat.
Yeah, especially if you're already an advanced lifter,
But Ben was saying that people are like, oh, he's made so much progress. And what I was going to say to that, Ben, is you've been heavy before though.
Right.
So it's easier to go back to a number than it is to get there in the first place.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and every time you go back to that number, you improve. So this is the best 274 I've ever been. But then the next time I come down and show and then come back up, I'll be a bit better again.
What was your weight before you started dieting for this show, Ben?
So I was.
But he was sloppy though, right?
I was 292 sloppy. I've been 285 about 3 years ago, but pretty good.
Okay. So comparing where you're at right now at, what'd you say, 272?
274 this morning is the best I've been. Best I've been in terms of a balance between not being sloppy. My face is getting a little puffy, but my body's holding some shape. And my strength is all back, I'm eating a lot of food.
But that's how it goes. And that's what people don't understand. Like, I would get to like at 23 years old, I was 285, right?
Yeah.
But it was like sloppy and gross.
Right.
And then every time I do a show, I would get closer to that, back to that 285 number, but I would be a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I'm at 285, I'm like not that bad. Like it's not fucking horrible, right?
Well, I said this to Patrick. I was on the phone to Patrick the other day because we said the next time I got on stage, I need to be 260. Right? I was 242 this time around, and I wasn't in shape. So I need to be 260, and I don't care how long that takes. And he seems to think I can be there sooner than later.
I think you need to be 280.
Fucking hell, 280. No, okay, but I'm going to manage your expectations.
Not in a year. Not in a year. I'm saying,
okay, but I want to manage your expectations of me because I'm not trying to be a fucking pro, right?
I have big expectations of you.
Right. So I think okay, maybe 280, fine, but I want to do a show at 260 first.
Yeah.
Then rebound because I always my most productive time is post show.
Yeah. Everybody's is. Right. Everybody is. Yeah.
So he said, right. So this is a conversation I had with Patrick. So I'm like, okay, let's not get too excited because the last 6 weeks have been easy, right? As in making progress has been easy. It was hard to stay on diet because I wanted to eat like shit. But in terms of what my body did with the food, it was super easy.
Yeah.
The telling point now is at this point now, even if I was to eat a little off plan, my weight kind of is going to stay around 275. Right? It's not going to go up or down too much. I filled out as muscle. And then I'm just going to sit. So then between now and March is when I consider this is the bit where I need to now grind.
Yeah.
This is the bit where I need to keep being consistent.
But that's the most important thing you said, because this is the problem. Every single person, like even Paul was really shit in the off season.
Right.
Paul,
I was a good pre-contest bodybuilder. I was a shitty off-season bodybuilder.
Because most people, this is their pattern. They finish a show, and this is guaranteed with like almost everybody I know does, and I've done it too. About 2 weeks before the show, most people start thinking about their off season. Like, man, once I'm finished the show, I'm going to eat so much and get so big and get fucking huge. Then they do the show and they have like a really good 4 weeks because their body just keeps escalating in weight.
Yeah.
Then their body starts to level off. And when the level off happens, that's where their motivation levels off as well.
Right.
Because I think you gotta pick it up a notch now when you start to level out. And it's hard. I'm not a big eater. I never have been. Like I like to eat, but eating 10 ounces of meat 6 times a day for me was very difficult. And that was my biggest downfall, I think, off-season gains.
This is the thing where the first time I've recognized I'm at that level off point.
Yeah.
So that motivation and the routine was easy to carry post-show, right? And like I said, everything I eat works, right? I'm like,
because you were gaining weight. Yeah.
And I kind of held that condition because it's a little offset because you were so lean anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, things are, I'll wear long sleeved things now, and I'll wear my trousers when I'm training, like rather than shorts, because I'm not so vascular. So, but this is where I recognize I'm like, okay, now I need to push on. Now I need to go up another level, and my training is now. My strength is the last 10 days. My strength has just gone.
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking strong.
It's kind of the same thing as what I tell people when they go off the gear, right? Because a lot of guys, their motivation wanes at the same point as they go off the gear. They're like, "Oh, I'm off, so I'm probably only going to eat 3 meals a day now, and I'm going to lose weight anyway. So who cares?" I tell people the opposite. Like when I was like really cycling hard, when I went off, my goal was to get heavier.
Yeah,
I would eat more in my off periods because I would try and get that slingshot effect. People talk about breaking plateaus, right? Like, so let's say I'm 280 when I go off the gear. My goal was to try and hold 280 or actually gain some weight. So that way, when I went back on, I would shoot to 285 or 290.
Right. Yeah. So that way you're always getting a little bit ahead.
Yeah, because if you don't, if you're 280 when you go off and you just fuck off on your diet, you don't do shit, and you go down to like 270 or 265, when you get back on the gear, you're just going to go back up to 280.
Right.
And then you're in the same place. You're not making any progress.
It's that thing you said as well. Or was it? I think you were talking about when you worked with Hani, and he said that your weak body part's the one that's going to fade the quickest, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And it's the same with new muscle, right?
Yep.
I mean, I'm putting tissue on my hamstrings and back right now because I'm training them like a fucking dog, and twice a week, and I notice my back's thicker.
Yeah.
And that's my hamstring. But if I was to now rush and go, oh, I'm good, let's do a prep for early next year, my back and hamstrings are going to fade. That's going to come off first.
But how many guys do that?
I haven't consolidated that muscle. It's not there. It hasn't stuck. And that's very bro science.
It's a bro sciencey thing, but it's true.
Yeah, for sure. But I haven't made that muscle stick yet. It's not part. It's not really part of me yet.
But me and Paul talk about that all the time, because some guys, like some of these young guys, they want to compete every time there's a show.
Yeah, it's the biggest mistake I think I see in amateurs.
It's like 3 months. Like 3 months will go by. Like, oh, I'm getting ready for another show, and I'm like, you didn't. Just because you reached a certain weight, like if you have 3 months, and in that 3 months you go from 200 to 225, and then you're only at 225 for a couple weeks, and it's time to diet again, that's going to go. It's just going to disappear.
Yeah, but
you have to get to 225 and then hold that for like 3 or 4 months.
You got to grow into that weight. But I wonder if some of that social media nowadays, where people have such a desire for people to see their pics, to like their pics and that, so they don't want to go into a long, hard off season where they're covered up for a year. They want to put themselves out there, and I think social media feeds that a little bit.
Well, this is the limbo that I have, because obviously in December I'm going to the Olympia, and I'm with my new supplement company. We're doing a lot of videos, and I'm like, God, I wish I'd looked like I did 2 weeks ago.
A month ago, yeah.
Right, and then obviously I've just got off the back of a prep, and I saw my social media. I put pictures up. The interaction's much larger on a prep picture,
right,
and a rebound picture did pretty well too. Now I'm starting coming into the off-season, they're a little less, I'm a little softer, people don't give a fuck as much. It does factor in.
Can I tell you, that's why, like, sometimes I do those little stupid speeches during the videos I shoot and stuff, and I always say to people, one of the things I always say is, train like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
And when I say train like nobody's watching, this is exactly what I'm talking about, because everybody is excited when they're lean and they're posting photos and their interactions through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did the same thing, Ben. We were prepping at the same time.
Yeah.
I would post a photo. I would get 400 comments. Oh, you look amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, holy shit, my fucking, 15,000 likes and whatever. And you listen, no matter who you are, it feels good to know that people like the way you look.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I post a photo. It's like 5 comments and like 5 likes. It's like everybody's like,
I'll start commenting.
What'd you say? Half of them are what?
Or negative.
But it's like, but if you're a real bodybuilder, or if you really want to make progress, you take the good with the bad, and that means
you got to look at the big picture.
There's peaks and valleys, right? In that valley, you got to eat shit. No one cares, and that's what another thing I always say is, no one gives a fuck what you're doing.
You don't mean eat pizza, right? You mean actually like
eat shit.
As in
actually mean eat shit.
Right.
Take it on the chin, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean eat pizza. No, don't do what I'm doing now. It's funny that you know, a lot of people don't know who I was and just who know who I am now from the podcast. And I feel like they don't know that I actually used to be like James. And now they're like, who's this fucking guy? He's a bodybuilder. All he does is eat pizza at McDonald's.
Why don't you put a picture up behind you of like you on stage from the Arnold's or something? Like,
this is what I used to look like.
You still got that big cutout of yourself?
I do. I think I should put that behind me.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know those Ben? You know those posters that you unroll and they put them at like an expo. SciTech made one of me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna fucking unzip it and I'm gonna put it behind me.
I asked Gasp for a banner, right?
Yeah.
For my gym because I don't have AP or I don't have Gasp up in the background right now.
Yeah.
So Gasp went, yeah, no worries. I went in there. They've got it was a photo shoot picture of me, the one where I'm sat in the football jersey. They've blown up, and I'm like, so you want me to put a picture of myself in my own gym?
Do it.
With a big blaster? It's over there. I'm kind of like, I kind of want to send it to my dad for Christmas rather than put up in the gym.
Paul, didn't I have that poster up somewhere? It was in my basement. At my basement of the first house.
From the south. It was in a storefront on Windsor. Remember that one shitty store on
no, but I remember I had it. I remember I had it in the basement. I forget which one of our friends came down and like, why do you have a picture of yourself?
You had it behind the bar. You had it behind the bar in your basement.
Yeah. I was proud of it.
That's like that story. That's like that story with when Carly and Luke went on their first date. Do you remember that story?
No.
And she bought him. It was like his birthday or something, and so she bought him a gift.
Yeah.
It was their first ever date.
Yeah.
And she gave him this gift. And he opened it. It was a picture of her, and she'd signed it.
Was she naked at least?
No, it was like a cover
like a
shoot.
fitness photo,
Yeah, and she signed it. I'm like, oh my god,
that's a red flag right there for sure.
Yeah, she wasn't doing it as a joke. Like she was serious.
I think she was serious.
She was serious.
Yeah, that'd be a red flag.
But no, what are you doing? So because
we were going about me. Yeah, sorry, I don't like to talk about myself. I do only with Paul though. Paul.
That's all I hear about. I'll tell you anything you want to know about Fouad.
Okay. Anyway, I'm taking a new medication, and it's kind of a trial, so I don't want to turn anybody onto it yet until I know it works for sure. But so far, it's increased my renal function. My kidney numbers are better. My GFR number is higher. My creatinine level is much lower, and it's supposed to keep going in that direction. So I don't have any plans to compete as of like now, but if my kidney function keeps getting better, then I want to compete next year. But the other problem is the medication kind of fucks with my body. So like I notice I don't retain water as well, which I know sounds like a good thing, but it's not in the off season because like my joints hurt more.
Right.
Yeah.
And my pumps, you notice Paul, you noticed last week, there was a couple workouts. I think there was one workout specifically where I couldn't get a pump. Like I just felt, I think it was arm day. I think it's from the medication.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense if it's dehydrating you.
That's what I was asking you yesterday, right? I said it's in pumps.
But I said, like I said to you, Ben, I think it's, if I don't make sure I focus on drinking enough water, then I think that was the day I suffered when we were training.
Should you increase like sodium, anything like that too?
I have because what the medication does is it's a glucose and sodium disposal type drug. Okay. From within the kidneys.
Glucose too?
Yeah. Mainly glucose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mainly glucose. So
I'm pointing this out. You're not doing this underground, right? This is actually prescribed.
No. This is from my doctor.
No, I know. But you can say, like, I can say, I'm taking this medication, but I can find it on the internet and scavenge it. But you're actually getting this prescribed, right?
Well, that's why I'm not telling anybody the name because number one, like if somebody asks me for blood pressure medication, I'll say I'm taking azilsartan. It's an ARB because that's proven to work for thousands and thousands and thousands of people. This thing is like kind of a new age and it hasn't been tried on a lot of people. So not that it's not a trial drug, like it's out there, but it's just, I don't think it's normally used on people like me. So I don't want to give the name out just in case.
Yeah, no. But I was just highlighting the fact that your doctor's actually prescribed it. So you had that conversation.
Yeah, I'm working. Well, the thing is, people message me and they're like, well, my doctor won't talk to me about this stuff. I've been through like 15 different doctors to find this doctor. This doctor is actually a sports doctor that doubles as my family doctor.
So it's not like a case of you went through every doctor until you found like the Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. So it's just like,
take whatever you want.
You basically found that guy. Right?
It kind of is like that guy, actually. No,
it's probably different here in Canada though, finding a doctor, because it's not easy finding a doctor. Well, a lot of them will take new patients here. So to find a good one might take some time.
It's probably easier in the U.S., don't you think?
That's what I'm saying. It's harder in Canada. Yeah. But I got a good doctor too. I like my doctor, but it took me some time to find one too. It took me a few years of trial and error with a few.
Yeah, I need to get one here. I haven't got one right now.
Well, it's harder for you because you don't have your papers or anything yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Are you going to get deported? Can they deport you?
No.
Paul, Paul's a border agent. Can they deport him?
In Canada. I am in Canada.
No, I'm here. No, my application is in process right now, so I'm kind of like stuck here.
In the middle, yeah.
So I have an attorney. I have a immigration attorney that's doing all the paperwork. So
okay.
I'm not just camped out here hiding with a bunch of Mexicans.
You didn't just jump a wall. You just jump the wall to get in. Yeah.
All right. So that's what you're referring to that shit, right, Ben? Because I don't really. There's nothing else going on in my life.
Yeah, no, that's all. Yeah, I just didn't know. I didn't know whether you wanted to discuss that. I just thought.
I did. I mean, I also along with taking the medication, I've also lowered my protein. I was doing like 7-ounce portions. Now I'm doing like 4 or 5. Drinking tons of water. I'm taking a ton of vitamins. What'd you say?
You're eating pickles now too. You told me you're eating pickles every day for the sodium.
Pickles don't have anything. Well, that's just for.
I don't hate pickles.
You hate pickles?
I love pickles.
How do you hate pickles?
I fucking hate pickles.
Pickles are a bodybuilder's friend.
Yeah,
I know. I remember being in Costco car park with Luke when he's getting ready for the Arnold, and he bought a big jar of pickles, and we're getting in my car, and I'm like, "You are not fucking eating in my car." So I made him. He opened the jar in the car park, and he's eating the fucking pickles before he gets in the car. I'm like, I know you. You're gonna fucking spill that pickle juice everywhere. My car starts to stink. I'm like, don't do it. I'm like, eat them now.
When I used to compete and get those clenbuterol cramps in the middle of the night,
Pickles.
I used to like crawl my way to the fridge and start eating pickles. I remember my wife when I first met her. I remember one night I woke up and did that, and she was like, "What the hell are you doing?" So I'm in the kitchen rubbing my leg and eating pickles.
At least you weren't rubbing your own pickle.
Can you imagine what that looks like to like a normal person? Like, what the?
Oh man, yeah.
What the fuck is this guy doing at 3 a.m? Fucking in the kitchen, laying on the floor in the fetal position.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
What's the worst cramp you've had?
The worst cramp?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had quad and hamstring on the same leg at the same time. That for me is the worst thing.
Listen,
Bad.
I got really, really scared one day because everything, like I had the quad, and it started with the quad, and then I was trying to like pull my leg back to like stretch out my quad, and then the hamstring went.
Oh.
And then I tried to like do something else, and then my glute went, and I'm like, now my whole and then my lat cramped up, and I'm like, okay, this whole side of my body. So
that's scary.
I'm laying on the couch, I'm screaming for Summer. I'm like, Summer. She's like, she comes down, she's like, what? I'm like, get me a glass of fucking water with salt in it. She goes, how much salt? I go, I don't care. Just fucking pour a bunch of salt and water. So she goes and gets a rock glass, just poured a bunch of salt and brings it over, and I slam it. It's amazing though. Within like, I don't know, man. I have to say like 60 seconds, 90 seconds. Everything just went like, released.
Yeah. So I remember training legs one time, and it's when I was living in London. So I trained legs, and then I jumped on the underground, which is the trains.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to pick up my new motorbike. So I had this like brand new Ducati. So I jump on the bike, and I'm riding back home, and I'm going through, I don't know if you know, Park Lane is like the real busy, it's a famous street in London. Yeah. Both hamstrings and adductors go. I'm on the bike doing 60.
Adductor's the worst.
So both legs, both hamstrings, both adductors. So I'm on the bike and I do that with my legs, right? And I'm like in my helmet, I'm like fuck, and I'm in like it's like 4 lanes of traffic. I can't get anywhere, and I'm just doing that with my like fucking.
People are like, what happened to Paul Dillette? Sorry, Fouad.
Oh, on
remember what happened to Paul Dillette at the Arnold's? Yeah. Well, that was the Arnold's, I think, wasn't it?
But the worst cramp is the ab cramp during sex.
Oh man, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
I've had that. Yeah. Yeah, that's not fun.
The ultimate, or even driving. I've had the ab cramp driving. And you're in your seat. I've been driving and I get an ab cramp. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to recline the seat and trying to like do all these things.
I get an ab cramp every single time I do abs because I don't do them.
That's because you do them like once a month.
Yeah, I know. But I never learned from that either. And every single time they spasm up.
Okay. We have, like I said, 500 questions. So I want to get through some of them. That's the purpose of today. So we should stop blabbing and get to some X's and O's. Okay, I'm just going to run through these. I'm going to start at the bottom this time. All right. Would you guys rather win multiple Arnold Classics or win one Olympia? Paul?
One Olympia.
One Olympia?
Yeah.
One Olympia.
Me too. Okay. There is a Netflix show of a bodybuilder that uses breast milk as a supplement. Have you heard anyone doing this?
Yeah.
Ben, you got it.
I didn't know they'd put out that documentary yet. I have drunk Denise's breast milk. Yes.
Is it gross?
No.
Paul, you drank Denise's breast milk?
No. Sorry. My wife's.
Oh, your wife's. Okay.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Is it very sweet, like chocolate milk sweet, or is it like, I don't know, is it?
Maybe not that sweet. It's a different taste than chocolate, but it's I enjoy it. It's good.
I feel like that's gross. I don't think I could do that.
No, it's good.
No. I didn't do it off the nipple. I did it in. She put it in a bottle for me first.
Yeah, me too.
It wasn't like I was on one and Phoenix is on one and I've got the other, and we're just like
we're not animals.
I didn't see you, Ben, sitting there like this.
Dude, honestly.
Do you remember our friend Kelly? He was big in the colostrum.
Yeah, but not off a fucking girl's tit.
No, it was beef. It was beef colostrum, I think. But if he would have got human, he would have drank it.
My son, when he's on the nipple, has a death grip. He's like clamps.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my god!" And I try and like put his little arm off. I'm like, "Little fucker's strong."
Yeah.
That just fucking clamps it.
He's hungry, man. He's got to eat. Boy's got to eat. Opinions on insulin all day versus all. Oh, this is actually a good question. So, opinions on insulin all day Lantus versus quick Humalog in terms of insulin sensitivity, muscle gain, general view on insulin. So, I just want to say one thing before Ben answers. I want to leave this to Ben, but I heard that, and I've never done this. Okay, let me just say this. I like the idea of Lantus for insulin if I was going to use insulin. But I've heard there's guys in Europe doing all day Lantus, but then also adding.
That's what I did.
The Humalog.
Yeah, I did that.
Isn't that just too much?
Well, not if you're doing low dose Lantus and low dose Humalog versus high dose Humalog or high dose Lantus.
Yeah, I've never done that.
So can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Ben?
Yeah.
Is the purpose of that then so your body utilizes the carbs that you're eating all day better, but then you're sort of you're really amplifying the effect of it though pre and post workout? Is that for the anabolic effect?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of what I did. I logged it on my Instagram. This was like 3 years ago. I did.
So wait a minute, Ben. Let's answer the question first, and then we can talk about doing the combination.
Yeah.
Is it better to do the all day, or is it better to do the quick hit if you're going to choose one?
Better is okay for the most part, and with all clients, I'm just using Humalog.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Lantus,
wait, are you using it pre or post?
Both.
Okay.
It depends.
Yeah. There's no exact thing.
Both have their applications. It depends on one. If the client is training late on it in the evening, I'm just doing pre, right? If they're slightly early in the day, then I have more options to play with, right?
Refeed, yeah.
Because there's more of a window to eat. Is that why?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'd like to, because in basically Humalog, it will give you two different
Spikes.
It hits
Hits
twice.
twice. Yeah.
If you're doing it post, I like to have at least 2 solid meals to go in after the post meal.
Right. Okay.
But what I do find is, so the Lantus thing, insulin is insulin, right? It's just how long you're gonna expose the body to it.
Yeah.
Lantus works very well. It does its job, and it's just how you choose to eat around that. Because then this is why I'm saying for a client, I'm just going to give them Humalog unless they're like James, right? And I know they are on their diet all day, every day. There is, I think there's less margin with Lantus, although it could potentially be more effective.
This is the thing. Theoretically, and like I don't know the science behind it, so I'm not going to say which is better or worse. But theoretically, in my mind, I'm like, I just think Lantus makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, when I was using Lantus and the Humalog in combination,
like, okay, well, sorry, Ben. Let me say this: if I was going to put a client, and like you said, somebody who's not exact with their meals, I'd put them on Lantus before Humalog, because you can't go hypo with Lantus. Well, you can, but I mean, if you use a low dose, you're not going to go hypo.
I would, with every beginner, I start them a little bit, either like normally like 3 or 4 IU pre or post. That's my start point with.
I know. I know. I'm not debating whether you're right or wrong. I'm asking your opinion about. Let's say I come to you and I want to get coaching, and I'm like, I'm like 90% on the diet. If you gave me Lantus, isn't that just going to keep the muscle full all day long? And isn't that better than just spiking pre-workout?
Well, nutrient timing, I think, is important.
Yeah, I mean the pre-post window. Yeah.
And you find most guys are more adherent to their diet pre and post.
Yeah, they're always going to get their pre-workout meal and their post-workout.
Everyone's pretty locked in. As it gets close to the training window, that's where people get locked in, and then outside of that, that's where the extras come in.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be adding. I wouldn't want to risk using Lantus and then someone's eating a donut with their kids in the evening, or that adding.
Why not though? That's my question. Is if I'm on Lantus, I'm eating a donut. Isn't my body utilizing that donut better?
Yeah, but you also, you're going to be. I say utilizing, you're going to be uptaking every nutrient within that meal.
Right? So the fat too, you mean?
So you're going those triglycerides are going to be forced in. Everything's going to be forced in, right?
I would think that the Lantus would be better if you try to get someone lean, but if you're trying to bulk, then the Humalog would be better because you're using that to enhance your training.
Actually, I think what Ben is saying makes the most sense, but in combination with what you're saying, Paul, but I think it's good for bulking or getting cut. It's just what Ben alluded to was the guy's got to be 100% on his diet,
right,
to be able to use Lantus, which makes sense because I didn't factor in the part you said about if you're eating a donut, you're going to get all the fats and the triglycerides.
Right. So when I used both Humalog and Lantus, I can tell you what I was eating because I was eating 2 meals only. It was cream of rice and whey.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It was cream of rice, whey, and egg whites because I do 50-50.
Yeah.
Or it was shrimp with white rice.
And you just go back and forth.
And a banana. And I just also, so I had 3 meals of one, 3 meals of the other, and I just went 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. And then intra-workout, I did like...
How did you feel like that worked with did you get lean on that? Because honestly, I don't feel, even when I've done insulin, I don't feel good without adding any fats.
So I got blasting full. I didn't gain any body fat and looked pretty good.
Did you hear about my insulin story, my Lantus story? The taking the 80 IUs a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I was blasting full when I took 80 IUs a day.
Yeah.
So the highest I got to was I take 25 IU of Lantus in the morning, and I think 25. I usually train around 2 or 3, so I take it just before I trained.
Yeah.
And then I stagger my Humalog would probably be 4 or 5 IU with every meal.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So you said you took 25 IU of Lantus, but you took it before you trained?
No, it wasn't because of the training window. Yeah. It was because I just wanted it 8 hours later, just to I spread it through the day.
Yeah, but wouldn't you just take it when you woke up?
I had 25 when I woke up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then another 25.
And then another 25
okay.
10 hours later, but it just so happened that was around training, and that just kept me through to the next day. And then with every meal, so I had 6 meals, solid meals. I would take 5 IU of Humalog with the first 4 meals of the day. So,
God damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, 5 IUs, there's 20 IUs of Humalog across the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I've never done
and my carbs were something like, I think every meal was 50 grams of protein and maybe 100 to 125 grams of carbs a meal. And then the fats were like 0. So
are a lot of guys using it to load still, carb load?
I've seen it done.
Yeah, I did it once or twice and I liked it.
I hate that.
I liked it. It worked really well for me once.
Who did it? I did that shit for you.
Yeah. I did the one time it worked very well.
Yeah, but that's the problem with it is that one time it worked very well. Yeah. The other time it might work like shit.
Yeah, and I think you have to really be shredded too for it to work well.
Yeah, it works really, really well without Dactone.
With what, sorry?
Aldactone.
Without.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to start.
I'm not like debating whether it works well or not. For me, I don't like the risk factor.
Yeah.
Because there was one show, I remember the Houston Pro, and I've posted photos from it before. At the prejudging, you would think that I was going to win the entire show.
Yeah.
And there was 25 guys in the show. So I come out, and they do it in alphabetical order, right? So my last name's Abiad, so I come out first.
Yeah.
I come out first, and I just posted recently a photo from that show. And I never say I look good. I thought I was like, holy fuck, I look great when I saw the photos. I went off stage. 25 guys went, and they each get a minute. So you got to think 25 minutes, give or take a few.
Mm-hmm.
Then they bring us back out for comparisons. When we came back out, it looked like I hadn't even dieted.
Completely flat, eh?
I completely like had an insulin fucking dump or something. I don't know. Like my body, I couldn't flex. Like I was trying to pump up to go out, and I'm like, I can't feel my arm. Like I can't feel the muscle pumping up.
That's a shitty feeling.
I go back out, and then I look at the photos after from when I went out individual and I went out for comparisons. In comparisons, I looked like I was 8 weeks out.
Yeah, but what did you do between walking off?
Nothing.
You didn't drink it.
Exactly. Nothing, just backstage, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I know that. I know that. That's the whole problem is it's that touchy, right? You got to go off stage. You got to have a drink of some sort. You got to like.
It's the water. You put water back in, and it's gonna because the water. You said you looked. I'm just gonna hazard a guess. The water came out of the muscle.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
That's why I couldn't pump.
So you couldn't pump.
That's what it looked like.
And you've gone smooth because the water wasn't intracellular now. It's extracellular. It's now sitting under the skin.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happens. How does that happen?
It's electrolyte, sodium, and water balance.
Yeah,
that's why everyone goes. A lot of people go, "I can't get a pump. I need more carbs." No, you don't need more carbs.
Yeah,
you need water for the body to be able to put carbs. So blood glucose gets stored within a muscle cell, right? But it needs water bound to it to store it as glycogen, right? So muscle glycogen is a glucose molecule and water.
Remember that Toronto Pro I did in 16, Paul?
Yes.
Remember? No, that was 14. It's 16 is the one Nathan won.
Oh,
remember I barely dieted for it. It was like kind of like
John had you drink like a gallon of water the day of.
So John, it was the morning. So Ben, I show up at the venue. John looks at me and he goes, "Drink this," and he hands me a gallon of water, and I'm like, I'm about to fucking go on stage. It goes against everything I've ever been taught, right? And he goes, "Just start drinking." He goes, "If you spill over, you're not going to spill over till after prejudging."
Yeah.
So I started drinking, and I'm like, I swear to God, every time I chugged water, I look better. I'm like, I look better, and I was actually winning the prejudging. But I think as time, like I was beating Nathan. It was Nathan, me. I finished third. I think Ben finished fourth. Max was second, and Nathan was first.
Mm-hmm.
I was winning the fucking prejudging, and then the water started to catch up with me. So I started getting softer, and I'm like, those two moved ahead of me.
I was there, and I could see you like sort of fading a bit on stage, and those guys catching up, and I was like, oh fuck, there was nothing to do. Nothing you could really do about it though.
By the night show, I looked like I hadn't even dieted.
Yeah, I mean, typically, what I see is most people that are flat on stage, right? It's not because they've overcarbed.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. If they're smooth on stage, it's not because they've overcarbed. It's because they sucked out too much. The water isn't in the right place.
They cut the water too soon or something. Yeah.
Water and sodium. You put those two back in, and then everyone has that cheat meal, and they're like, "Oh, I look way better the next day." I'm like, yeah, jackass, because it's not because you had the burger and fries and there was carbs in it. It's because you reintroduced water and sodium, which allowed your body to shove all of that water back into the muscle.
Well, remember back in the old days, we would sort of do like a carb up with a lot of water, and then the last couple of days we'd switch to fats and start cutting your water.
No, just the last day. So the way I've always done it, the last
day particularly, but we start adding fats like a day and a half or so.
So all my best preps, this is how the last peak, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday went. Wednesday was very high carb, very low fat. Mm-hmm. Thursday was a mix of both. I don't know if I'd say 50-50, but a mix of both, like 60-40, maybe more carbs. And then Friday was a little bit more fats. I would probably say it's 60-40 more fats.
Yeah.
On a Friday.
That's what I do. I still do that.
Yeah. And then
I switch people onto maybe some like red meat on the Friday. Salmon. Yeah.
And higher fat red meat sometimes.
And then a little bit of peanut butter, stuff like that. And then for water, what we used to do is I would do a water load like Tuesday, Wednesday. I'd cut water a little bit Thursday, and then actually no, Thursday we would go hard too, and then Friday we would cut it at like noon.
Yeah.
Okay,
maybe 2:00 or something like that would be like.
And it'd be like a liter, and that was it up until that point.
Yeah. And then Saturday I'd wake up fucking dry and fucking peeled. I'd take a diuretic. I usually took like half a diuretic around like 3 or 4 o'clock. And then I would take another half if I needed it, at like 11 or 12 at night.
And maybe have like a burger and fries at night on Friday night, and then Saturday wake up big and full and dry.
If I needed it, I've done that. Sometimes I've done it, sometimes I haven't.
Yeah,
that template is 90% of what I do with 90% of my guys, and obviously that you just adjust it based on the Friday how you're looking. When we need to go back, or we can still push more. The thing that
I think screws people up is this. This is what I've seen more times than not. And this is even with my own clients. It's kind of fucked me. If the guy is too depleted getting into the Wednesday and you start feeding him, their body speeds up and just starts processing all that fucking food. They don't gain any retention. They don't retain any of the carbs. You ever had that happen, Ben? Or Paul? Like I feel like if you've been dieting for too long, like this is why I think refeeds are important, or cheat meals, because if you've been dieting, like Chad did this to me. We did like 8 weeks straight on like sub 100 grams of carbs. Then this is for the 2012 Flex Pro. Then we started carb loading on the Tuesday before the show. Nothing happened. I got on stage, and I remember people even telling me afterwards, like people in the know, were like, "You look shredded, you look great, but you just didn't have the roundness that you had last year." But I think it was because I was flat for 8 weeks fucking straight, right? So I don't think it's like that.
A guy your size needs more time than that to fill up.
I think anybody, more time, but I think anybody's going to have trouble filling up if they've been depleted for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I usually try to do. And obviously it changes because not every prep goes the way you want it to. I try to get people in shape, so around 2 weeks, I can do a trial carb up with them.
Yeah.
That serves me two things. One, it gets me to, I can now predict how they're going to respond and what they need. And two, it gives me a little bit of a head start going into that final 2 weeks. So you're not as depleted as if you run 8 weeks and kill them.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'll give you the perfect example. Remember FIBO, Paul? Like before I went to Orlando, they were supposed to do FIBO.
Yeah. What happened? Last minute it got canceled or something, right?
Me and Cedric, I was so excited too because I was going to compete against Cedric, and it was the best I'd ever looked. I'm like, I think it was the first time in my life I thought I might actually beat a top tier guy. I'm like, I think I can beat Cedric, right? Like
that's the best look at that time.
And even Cedric said to me, because we did an appearance in Paris a few weeks before that show. He's like, you look different. And I was like real full and round, and like I don't know if it was just had really good GH that year or something. I don't know, but anyway, so they canceled FIBO. So I got pissed off, and I'm like, I flew to FIBO. They still had the expo, but didn't have the show. I pigged out the whole week, all fucking week long. I just couldn't stop. Every night I would have a burger or pizza or like chips or something. I get back from FIBO, and I'm like, and Paul and John goes, we should do Orlando. And I go, I think it's a good idea, but I've put on some weight. And he goes, what do you weigh? I'm like, I'm 285 right now. It's like I'd put on 20 pounds. I have the photo. I look like just like fucking water, right? So he goes, okay, well, but Orlando is still 4 weeks away. It was perfect. If you remember my look in Orlando, Paul, I was like, I was really full, but we had dropped all the fat and water weight. Well, if you put on 20
it's not fat.
Yeah, it's not fat. Yeah,
right.
So we had dropped all that water weight and a little bit of glycogen, and I was just, it was and that's kind of what you're saying is like that load a week before, 2 weeks before, whatever, kind of gives the body a little bit of a reserve when you go to carb load the final week.
Yeah. Do you remember eating that Red Robin between shows there, Fouad? Between prejudge and finals?
No.
In Orlando? Remember, you're like, John told me to go have a burger and fries. So we get there. You're like, he doesn't know my body. I know my body. So you're like, give me 2 burgers, 2 fries. And I think you ordered another one after that, too. You're like, I don't know my body. I need more food than that. I'm not full. And they'll get like 3 or 4 cheeseburgers. Supposed to have one.
I wonder how many guys have done that where the coach goes, have 1 burger and half a thing of fries. And they're like, yeah, fuck that. I'm having 5 cheeseburgers and 4 of fries. And especially if prejudging is early enough, you're like, well, if I just cram it all in, I get off stage at 11 and finals aren't till 7. I'm gonna have no issues because that's all going to be digested. And you just go hard on that 1 meal and then you back off. Then
yeah.
And then you're trying to convince yourself. You're like, my stomach's still small, right, Paul?
but then you always go and have a massive shit, which is the best thing in the world because you haven't shot 3 days.
Right.
The best nap is the post prejudging nap.
Yeah.
Man, if you go after prejudging and you have a burger and fries or whatever the fuck you're gonna eat, and then you go back to your hotel room and you crash for 2 hours, you wake up, you feel great, and you look awesome. Whatever shredded. It's it's the best nap.
And also because if you've cut water as well, you can sleep through that thirst. You're not sitting there going, fuck 'em. Like that, you just sleep. You wake up and I'm fine.
Yeah. All right, so we took 20 minutes to answer one question. We're not going to get through.
We got 499 to go.
All right, natural peanut butter versus almond butter. Seems like some coaches will have to use almond butter with a shake versus peanut butter. Didn't know if there was an actual reason. Doesn't Ben or Paul? I don't know if you guys know, but correct me if I'm wrong. But doesn't peanut butter have an enzyme that actually, I don't want to say it's toxic, but doesn't react well with the body? I thought that's why people use almond butter. I thought peanut butter had some type of enzyme or something that was like.
You know what I think it is? People have no control of peanut butter when you're dieting. Your coach will say have a tablespoon, you'll have 10. But almond butter doesn't taste as good. So if you're supposed to have 1, you're probably going to have 1.
I think there's something to the difference, though.
Well, it's the fat profile as well is different.
Is it? What's the difference?
Yeah, I think almond has more omega-7 in it, or 9. I'm sure.
1 second. I'm almost positive about the enzyme.
I'm not gonna spiel and bullshit.
Wait, I got it. I knew I was
peanuts a legume or something. They're not even an actual nut.
A legume. What'd you call it, Paul? Say it again.
A legume.
A legume.
Yeah, no, they are. Peanuts are not technically a nut, right?
Okay, so this is it. P-coumaric acid. This oxidation is believed to be a component involved in neurodegenerative.
Okay, but for bodybuilding purposes, that's not why coach isn't giving them peanut butter.
No, but I think it has. 1 second, let me type some. Bad enzyme.
Read the side effects of eating too much peanut butter.
1 second. What's it say?
I don't know. I want you to click on it.
Okay, let's see. That's it. No, that's not it. But this may be something. Also contains some linoleic acid and essential omega-6 fatty acid, abundant in most vegetable oils.
I think that's what it is. It's the
high omega-6. I swear there was something else.
Almond butter has less omega-6 in it than I'm sure of it.
Okay, that causes inflammation.
It's the omega profile that is different in the two.
So omega-6 causes more inflammation, right?
Well, if you get too much omega-6. Not omega-6 on its own doesn't cause inflammation. The problem is if you have a a high amount of omega-6 in your diet and a low amount of omega-3, then you get inflammation.
So it's the ratio, being out of whack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't really answer that question, did we? Other than it's the fat profile.
I think it's a self-control thing for a lot of people.
That's what you think it is.
Yeah.
Ben, what do you add? Peanut butter or almond butter?
I use almond. Most of the time I use macadamia oil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you don't use either?
That taste. I never tried it before.
I've got a bit. In fact, it's over there. Yeah, I use macadamia oil.
A lot of people love macadamia oil. I never thought it was good when I tried it.
I never tried it.
No, but it has got a real high omega-9 content and 7 content.
Yeah, but the taste-wise, do you like the taste?
I'd rather eat peanut butter, yes. But
yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Isn't Palumbo a big advocate of
Palumbo loves it and loves the taste of it. That's what I'm saying. Like some people
I love Dave Palumbo.
Huh? Dave got mad at Ben because he said something once. So Ben's not allowed to say anything ever again about Dave Palumbo. But yeah,
everybody should watch RX Muscle.
All right, let's move on, please. I don't want to get another shit on again.
I've said nothing but good things. So
okay. The next question: worst experience you ever had with a supplement?
Glycine. Do not take too much glycine. You will shit your pants.
Yeah, that happened to Hunter. When I worked out with Hunter and remember Paul?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
remember
Scott
Stevens
that vegetable glycine. He had a big chunk of it.
He had a big chunk of glycine, and we all took it. I got a great pump, but Hunter had to go to the bathroom like three times.
It'll clear you out. Yeah.
The worst thing I've ever had probably is the niacin flush that everyone experiences. I remember I told my wife to get me some once. And I forgot to tell her to get the slow absorbing one. So and she got the regular kind. And I took my regular amount, and I was on fire for a couple of hours. But that's probably. But remember back when I first started bodybuilding, guys would take that before they went on stage for the vascularity.
Yeah, they thought it brought up their veins. Yeah,
but you can never time it properly. That was a problem with it. So you take it and you feel nothing on stage, but then you get off stage and you'd be so uncomfortable because your skin was about to pop. But I don't remember having a bad experience with supplements other than that.
Yeah, I mean, I bought shit supplements that didn't do anything, but I don't think I've had a bad experience. But so I tell people, read the fucking labels. Check the scoop. Number one thing, check the scoop size.
Yeah.
If you get a supplement and the scoop size is like in single digits, you got fucking flavored water.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think using machines versus free weights have a different outcome on your physique?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Are we going to elaborate? Like I would basically, not for long, but like, I think a harder, denser physique is usually built with free weights, if that's a simplistic way of putting it.
Agreed.
You guys agree?
Yeah. I'm going to devil's advocate this now.
All right, hit me.
So incline, bent over rows, your big pressing movements, your squatting, all that is very like bread and butter movements. They're great for building a lot of muscle tissue, right?
Yep.
But, and this is something I found, if I just incline press, a lot of other muscles have to work.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So if I Smith incline press, which is what I'm doing now, my chest is doing...
Okay,
a lot of the. So I'm saying
that's a loophole. That's a loophole, though.
Let me finish. I'm saying if you're sticking, and this goes back to the deadlift argument that we have, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying do the big heavy shit first, and if after a number of years you find that maybe your anterior delts have taken most of that incline bench, you probably might need to switch to something that's going to allow you to shift your focus, because a lot of people, especially I think more so with advanced trainees, mind-muscle connection becomes difficult for them to isolate away from a dominant body part, right?
Yep.
So I have certain dominant body parts that I'm now having to shift away from. Like my lower back is super dominant. If I do a bent over row or T-bar row, it's a lot of posterior chain, and there's no lats going on.
Yeah.
As soon as I isolate my chest and do it chest supported, if I do the same movement chest supported, now my lats are doing all.
Okay, wait a minute. I just want to. Okay, let me add this caveat. I don't consider a Smith machine a machine. I know it is, but I don't. Okay. I also don't consider like a supported T-bar. I don't consider that a machine either.
I don't either.
When I think of machine, I think of like pin loaded machines.
Yes, I agree.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even
Well, you can
some plate loaded stuff, but mostly
Hammer.
mostly pin loaded shit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just say any machine versus a complete free weight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would start everybody off on the classic free weight
Yeah.
to build.
Okay, wait, but we're not arguing. Like I'm not saying machines.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing at all with you. I'm
Okay.
agreeing.
No,
with
no,
you.
yeah,
I'm just saying, I'm just saying. At some point, if you're struggling to build the muscle that you want to with a certain lift, then you might need to consider switching to a machine to feel it, because you don't have the ability to connect with the muscle as much.
Yeah, 100%. Look, machines have their place. Me and Paul use machines all the time.
Now,
but even back in the day, but we would blend in both. Like we've never done just free weight.
no,
We've never done just machines. But
now maybe you guys would know this. Like a lot of people, say Dexter trains predominantly with machines. And I don't know if that's something he's done later in his career or if he trained the same way earlier.
I don't think we can take outliers as a.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, like Dexter's,
you get the odd genetic freak.
You have anomalies to everything.
Yeah,
right?
even like Phil, because they say Phil Heath never did a bench press before. He always did dumbbells, and but not everyone has Phil Heath or.
Yeah.
If you're gonna blanket statement it, 100% free weights will build a denser looking physique.
Yeah. But you don't be a really cool experiment. If you could take like two identical twins with no weight training and start them one on machines and one on free weights and see what you have after a year's time or something.
Yeah. At what age did y'all do y'all's first show, and what were your thoughts going into it? Let's get to more X's and O's stuff. Sorry. Well, actually, I'll answer it quickly now since I read it. I did my first show at 21 and I was nervous as fuck. You guys?
First show at 26.
And what did you think going into it, Ben? Were you like excited or nervous?
I don't like being on stage.
I don't either.
I hate it. I love all the stuff up to. If they cancel the show the morning of the show, I'd be like, sweet, good, let's go.
Yeah.
You know?
I've actually felt that way before. Sometimes I get so nerve wracked that I'm like, maybe like my plane won't, like maybe my plane will be delayed and I won't be able to fly to the show. And I'm like, sometimes just your nerves get a hold of you, man.
I didn't mind being on stage during comparisons or something, but I hated being up on stage by myself during a routine.
Yeah. How old were you, Paul? You did your first show in like 1983, right? Was it 83?
1991, Fouad. I was 19 years old at the time.
No, you did that. You competed in like 88, I thought.
I did not. I was in high school still at 88.
Oh, okay.
At 19, I did my first show.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
This guy.
Daily injections, intramuscular or sub-Q?
Of what?
What do you mean of what? Heroin. What do you think?
Well, I mean like insulin, growth hormones, steroids, what?
Oh, I think they're talking about gear.
Yeah.
Intramuscular.
I can't be bothered with doing every fucking day unless I have to.
No, I don't want to either.
And I think it's really fucking minimal the benefit you're going to get, if there is any, to doing every other day. I'm good with, right? I can live with every other day, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. For me, I'm live with that. That's enough hassle.
Yeah.
But fuck, every day, you really think you're going to go from this level here to this level here because you split the dose up between every other day and every day? It's bollocks.
Okay, so let's just take this example. I got to arguably top 15 or top 10 in the world, and I do my shots Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
And I've always done my shots Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't think I would have been top 5 in the world if I started doing them like Monday through Friday every day. I don't think it would have made like any actually any difference. I think sorry, Paul, what would have made some difference, and this may matter to some people, this is only from people I've spoken to on the podcast and stuff like that, but what daily injections might do is it might minimize there might be a little less effect on side effects and mood.
Because there's less peaks and valleys. It's a straight line, pretty much.
But that's also arguable because Monday, Wednesday, Friday is still pretty stable. Like it's not.
I'm also gonna retort to that with, you'll probably get away with taking less gear and having less side effects and still make the same fucking progress.
If you did every day.
No, I'm just saying people were taking too much, and I'm like,
if you just lowered the dose a bit, yeah.
I'm like, mate, because you won't believe. I mean, you will believe because you get it too. The cycles that people are coming to me with, and I'm halving their dosages, and they're being more consistent with their training and diet, and they're making more progress than they ever had.
Well, I'll say it for myself. There was a couple of years where I went fucking ape shit. I mean,
yeah,
I was taking entirely too much shit, and I was like, "This is." And I did the experiment, so I just knew. I wanted to know.
Well, put it this way. So everyone at the minute on my social media is kind of, oh, what are you like? You're making so much progress, right? And I put a thing up the other day being like, oh, my blood work came back okay. So now food is going up. Have a bit of a different cycle. Now we pushed into the deep off season. Is now we get going, right? The rebound has happened. Now we're in the off season.
Yeah.
My DM's lit up. What's your new cycle? What's your new cycle?
Yeah,
and I'm like, wait a second. For the last 5 years, the most consistent thing I've been on is my drugs. I have been fucking consistent with taking my testosterone. Trust me, like that hasn't changed. Yeah. What's new, the thing that I'm doing with Patrick that's new isn't some funky, crazy protocol. It's I'm just being more consistent with my diet and training.
It doesn't matter how many times I say it, Ben. We've said we've fucking gone to this place on the podcast. Like, man, I've been doing this podcast for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
There's probably 50 episodes where we've touched on the fact that it's not the gear. The gear plays a major part. But there's not some magic cycle that James got on or that Ben is all of a sudden on that like the main difference. Look, I've worked with like all the top coaches. Mm-hmm. I work with Aceto, I work with Hani, I work with fucking Chad, name it, right? I work with John Meadows, like all the top coaches. And one thing I could say is all the cycles are pretty much the same.
Right. Yeah.
There's not that much fucking variance.
My experience with guys I know who are sort of outside of the sport, but are, at arm's length of the sport, like the guys who think that it is all just drugs that makes guys into pro bodybuilders. Yeah. When they do their first cycle and they get their, everyone gets their best result from their first cycle, right? So they're like, oh, this is what, this is what these guys have been using. That's why they're so good, blah, blah, blah. But then as time goes on, they start to realize, you know what, if I don't put that work in though, these gains, they're not infinite. They don't go on forever. They plateau. And if I don't put in the work, I'm not going anywhere now. And I think it's the average person, if they just would take the time to do a cycle themselves once or twice, they might actually realize that it isn't just drugs. There's so much more involved. But as an outsider, it's so easy to just assume that for them, I think.
I think when they do their first cycle, it'll reinforce that it's just the drugs.
Right.
Because when they do their first cycle, like, wow, it is the drugs. Look how good I look.
But no one just does one cycle.
I know.
So then their second and third cycles, then they start to dawn on them like, holy fuck, this is hard.
I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. Once they get to cycle number 2, 3, 4, 5, they're like, oh wait, those were just beginner gains.
Yeah, and I haven't made a gain in 2 years now.
Yeah.
It's the same mentality that I've got. I've made my rebound gains. Yeah, right, which are the easy initial jump. Now I need to fucking go to work, right? And that's where people, and that's that question. I'm not shitting on the guy for asking it, but it just shows you the mentality of you're worrying about the wrong fucking thing.
Yeah, yeah. For sure. Adam, whatever says, would you consider protein powder as a good source of protein? Wait, would you consider protein powder as a good of a protein source as chicken, for example, and the result it has on the body composition and gaining muscle? I'm going to say a bro science thing because I've asked numerous coaches, a couple scientists, and other bodybuilders what they think of this, and nobody can give me a fucking straight answer. But food is better than powder, and the only thing I can point to is the way it's broken down in the body.
Sorry, go ahead, Fouad.
I was going to say there's digestive enzymes that are in place when you chew your food, when you eat your food, when it's digesting in your body, and that's a different absorption than if you just drink a shake.
Well, take it to the extreme, right? You could take two physiques, or they take two identical twins, and you feed one of them 300 grams of protein a day from chicken only, and the other one from whey protein only. I know which one is going to look fucking better after a year of training like that and eating that.
Right. It's one of those things. Like me and you talk about it sometimes, Fouad. Like it's one of those things where science can't always explain everything. And vice versa. Some things that on paper seem that they're going to work really well don't in the real world. Like HMB, for example. When that something came out, it was supposed to be like the new creatine that it hasn't panned out to be. Because when people take it, they feel nothing. Yeah. And I think this is one of those same questions where there's never going to be an experiment to show you which is better, but it's just anecdotal sort of, like everyone who's been there and lived it knows that food is better.
That being said, there is a place for protein powder.
Yeah.
And that's why the only time I use I think my opinion is there's 2 or 3 places where protein powder is valuable. One, if you can't get enough protein in the day, you need to supplement with a shake, because anybody can always drink a shake. 2, if your appetite has just gone to shit and you can't get any food in, it's better to drink a shake than not eat. And 3, and the most important one for me, is performance wise, I feel like post workout it can make sense.
Yeah.
Unless you have like an intra workout has essential aminos and stuff like that, then you don't need it. But if you're the kind of person that doesn't use an intra workout, and you're just drinking water like during your training, then you need to get something in quick post workout. Then that's where I think a protein like a whey isolate would come into play.
I use my sister's a vegetarian. I have her supplement with protein powders.
Yeah, that's another example too. Yeah, if you're a vegetarian,
diets that are hard to get enough protein in. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Would you rather always have to shit with your wife in the bathroom next to you, or shit privately but in a public bathroom?
Oh, yeah.
Public bathroom. My wife doesn't. That never. I don't cross that border.
I'm okay with shitting in a public bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't prefer it, but
Well, I don't think anybody prefers it. You know what? I got to take a shit. I'm going to the McDonald's down the street.
Well, no, you fucking would do that, because while you're there, you're gonna have to get a fucking cheeseburger.
Grab a burger before I go into the bathroom.
Or eat it while you're shitting.
Have you ever eaten while you shit?
Yeah, I got a bit. I have. Yeah.
You've
I know it's gross.
You've been eating. You've eaten while you've been shitting.
I have, and I was really uncomfortable about it.
That seems wrong. You're like, it's just like going right out.
Before, when I was younger and I didn't know that there's like shit particles in the air and stuff when you shit, I used to. I embarrassingly admit that I used to.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry, Ben.
I want
to ask him a question. You used to, like, this was a regular thing?
Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't like a daily occurrence, but if I was eating and I had to use the bathroom, then I would take my meal with me to the bathroom. But then when I learned about molecules and stuff like that,
why would you just leave your food and then go shit and come back to it?
I just figured I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh my God.
Accomplish both tasks at the same time.
I'm gonna caveat mine with, I was chewing, so like I was finishing the meal off. Yeah. I was finishing the meal off, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta go. And I went, and so I was chewing one, and I didn't take the fucking bowl in and sit down.
like Paul did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
put my napkin out on my lap, and stuff.
I know I've done it. I just literally can't remember when. I know it's happened probably, but it seems so gross to me.
It is gross.
Yeah, something felt wrong about it.
How prevalent do you think the shit particles are, Paul?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know like how many. I don't know if there's a lot of particles, but even just 1 particle is too many particles while you're eating.
Because I know they said they studied, like, I remember I saw an article that said they studied they looked at people's toothbrushes.
Yeah.
And they found fecal matter on their toothbrushes.
Yeah. That's why you're supposed to put those things on your brush. Yeah.
Yeah.
Covers.
I always rinse off my toothbrush before I brush my teeth.
So all the poop comes off when you rinse it? Does it?
The shit particles fall off.
All right, it's clean now. Put it in your mouth.
What about
You know what? We've got a double sink. And my sink is closer to the fucking toilet. So I'm going to start keeping my further away.
But it's a real thing. It's like that was a real article. It wasn't bullshit.
Yeah. You mean the particles?
Yeah, the shit particles.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
So that means like your towel and everything, like your towel you hang on the back of the door.
Oh, I guess so.
The shit particles. You dry in your face, your hair. There's shit particles all in it. Oh,
this is why they're normally like Yannicka, James's other half. They shit out in a fucking shed in the garden.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
Is
that an outhouse?
Yeah, in
Norway, yeah.
Yeah, in Norway, I guess they have like an outhouse. It's like a shed.
Yeah, cabin, yeah.
Oh, that would suck.
Yannicka took a photo of it and sent it. Like, she put it in her stories. I guess it's
it's a side by side as well.
Yeah, there's a toilet. Paul,
really?
Picture this: you go into this shed. It looks like it looks like a sauna. And there's a toilet on one side and a toilet like a foot over from it.
And there's a separation or no separation?
No. You sit down, and shit next to each other.
Oh my, that's weird. Why do they do that?
Yannicka and James will sit down and have a shit together.
No way.
Yeah. I'm like, how could you? What if your wife's shit stunk worse than yours? What would you?
Oh man.
Well, hey,
she's a
celiac as well. Because you imagine if she ate like a fucking.
She's give her some bread.
I'm like, hang on. What have you eaten today? No, you can go on your own today, love. Like,
yeah.
I'll wait
that would suck though. They get really cold there too, right?
Could you do that, Paul?
No, go outside to shit. No.
Could you just sit next to Tony and shit?
Oh God, no, no way, no.
So
I don't want to.
I could go outside to shit, but I'm not doing it with anyone.
That's right.
Imagine, but in the wintertime, you got to go out there too. You got to bundle up, go walk to your shitter, and then
take a cold shit.
Yeah, that's horrible. I wouldn't know. Is it heated in there?
I don't know the details.
Just the shit is heated, so it steams.
Oh man, I could live there.
Paul, have you ever shit with your wife in the bathroom?
Yeah, not because I wanted to. I've been in there doing my thing, and then she's got to do her hair or something. She's in a rush for work. She can't wait. So, she's just come in on me.
Yeah, but you have two bathrooms. I don't understand.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. So, she should just go downstairs and do her hair. But and I do out of courtesy, I'll oftentimes go to the basement, shit in the morning because her and the girls are getting ready or something in the morning.
Yeah.
And but now she's got this thing. She gets ready in the basement bathroom. I don't know why. So it's kind of
she likes to smell your shit.
Maybe she does. I doubt it. I seriously doubt that.
The shit. No, what she's done is she's found the shit particles making her hair.
Well, she's part black, so it's a big curly hair. Maybe that's true. I don't know.
All right. Okay. Anyway, what? Okay. Can somebody tell me, Ben? You usually kind of follow all this stuff. Can somebody tell me what the big deal is about Callum getting his pro card? This next question is thoughts on Callum Van Moger getting his pro card, and do you see him getting far in professional bodybuilding? Why is everybody upset that he got his pro card? I've seen numerous videos about this.
I don't think he looked very good.
Yeah, but it's not the first time somebody.
No, but he's probably the highest profile figure that's picked up a pro card and has a big following and fan base, and I think people were surprised.
Yeah.
Why?
I think there's a separation, right? I think there's a separation.
Upset.
I think Callum's followers, a lot of them aren't competitive bodybuilders.
Right.
I think a lot of Callum's followers are
just normal
generic
people.
fitness.
Yeah.
Generic fitness people, right?
Yeah.
And I think the bodybuilding community are like, really, this fucking guy? Like, there's other physiques out there who probably are more worthy of a pro card.
Right.
I think people should get the fuck over it.
I'm not worried about that. Someone tagged me in something and said, if Callum Van Moger gets his pro card, Ben should be Mr. Olympia.
I saw that.
Well, I didn't see pictures from the show. I saw some pictures of him, and I agree with Ben. Like, I'm not overly impressed with his physique, to be frank. But I didn't see who he was compared to, what the other guys in his class looked like. So
this is what I mean. It's not his fault if no fucker turns up, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, a guy gets his pro card, and people are like shitting on him. I'm like, who fucking cares? First of all, like, I don't know. Look here, let's take a look. Let's take a look together.
He has, you know what? His physique kind of falls a better, because he's a judge. Arms and shoulders on him are phenomenal.
I think this is the problem. People are expecting this guy to show up. Right? This is before his tears. He's got quads are full. Like, look how good he looks here.
Yeah.
Right? This is a good classic physique, right?
For sure. Yeah.
And instead, this guy showed up. His legs are a little flat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, his hamstrings are soft. Like, his back looks empty. Like,
his whole physique has changed for the worse in this picture.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy took like fucking 3 years off. Like, it's not.
Yeah. Was this a bicep tear that he had, though? Wasn't it just a bicep tear?
No, he had his quad tear too.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I thought he tore his quad, his bicep, and like the other quad or something like that. I don't know. It was a bunch.
Yeah, he tore. I think he tore his quad on the cliff, and then as that was healing, just as he was getting back, he tore the other one or something.
Yeah, like
that, right?
This is the problem. People are seeing like this now, and they're like, "Oh, he doesn't look that good," because they're used to seeing this.
Right. Yeah.
Right? But even the one of him off stage, like look at the one above where he's in that the stripy vest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, that's when he was like, that's like a good 5-6 years ago.
This is why I tell people, like, it takes time to build. You can't just fuck off and then come back and diet and expect to look the same. Yes, he looks good. It's like when I just did my prep. This is what I would have looked like on stage. Like, people are expecting to see this, but they got this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're freaking out, right? But you can't take 3 fucking years off and then just show up like, look at this. Look at this.
You know what remind me of?
Look
you
at
know
this.
what kind of reminds me of, Fouad?
Yeah.
Remember when Kevin Levrone did the Olympia a few years ago?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, because everyone was like, he's not that much older than Dexter. Dexter can still do it, but Dexter hasn't left the game.
That's the thing. You can't take 5 fucking 10 years off and then just walk back on.
And that's the thing.
At that level.
I think he earned his pro card last weekend, and that's not the best he's looked.
Well, wait a second. Look at the guys that are next to him. Like, this is also why he won. Like, this guy doesn't look pretty soft. This guy looks pretty soft. I don't know if that's his main competition, but like, maybe the competition wasn't that great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not his fault. That's not his fault, right? So
right. But look at this.
If he was still the best at that show, then he deserved it.
Yeah, look, see, this is what they're expecting to see. This guy, and they got this guy
who's much better on the left, right?
Yeah.
Obviously,
yeah. I get it. I mean, but I mean, it also depends who's competing against. If there's nobody there,
well, I think that's what the whole thing is about. Like, he's been better.
Yeah.
And didn't win his pro card.
Well, you can't. Actually, that's why it doesn't matter when people say. When people say it's me versus me, I'm like, no, it's not. It's you versus whoever else is there with you.
Yeah, but I think, and someone will correct me, I'm sure in the comments. I think that's his first pro qualifier.
Yeah.
So when he looked better, because he did a show in LA. That was like the way.
Yeah, that's one Frank took him for that one.
The Excalibur or something like that.
Yes, and there wasn't a pro qualifier, but he looked way better for that than he did for this.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but I know the situation there. He was very consistent there.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank tells me that he fucks off on his diet all the time. He's a genetic freak, but he was consistently training and everything, right? You can't have 2 or 3 fucking major tears where you have to get surgery and then take 2 or 3 years away from really focused bodybuilding and then walk on stage. That doesn't happen.
At that time when you're talking about, he was training with Frank in Golds.
Yeah.
Every day. Now he's got some little shit set up in his gym. He sometimes trains in his garage. Sometimes he's in a commercial gym.
Yeah.
And he's kind of dicking around a little bit.
Yeah.
And it shows in his physique.
Okay. Well, that's not, worse things have happened. I don't know why people think it's such a big deal. Like, I mean, maybe people are mad because they're like, oh, he got special treatment because he's got 1 million followers. Maybe, but that's life.
Yeah.
You want special treatment? Go get 1 million followers, and then people.
I think I think it's more a case of no one turned up to beat him.
I know, but let's assume people were there and he got special treatment because he's got 1 million followers. That's life. Like, that shit happens. It's not fair. It sucks, but that shit happens all the time, man.
He's kind of good.
Listen, I did a show where I should have won, but the guy who was a veteran beat me because he was a veteran and I was new. I didn't cry in my fucking milk or cry in my fucking cereal. I got back to work and I just kept going. People bitch about stuff all the time. It's just like, get over it, man.
And a guy like Callum has upside for the pro league because he
does have upside. Yeah, he does.
He's going to bring a level of excitement to a show because he's doing it.
Well, it's not even just excitement. He's going to bring a level of eyeballs,
popularity.
He's going to bring a lot of people to watch the show that would not have watched that show otherwise.
Right.
So, I mean, fuck it. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too flippant about it. Is it a bad thing, Ben? You think? Let's assume there was somebody there that was better than he was.
That I think is wrong.
Then yes, that would be wrong. But I also think, well, if you're good enough to become a pro, you just keep going. You don't worry about you. You just keep doing what you're doing. If you were better and he won a pro card, you'll get your pro card. You just got to keep going.
That's happened to me. Like, people have beaten me and got their pro card before I did, but they did
nothing as pros.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. He's not going to turn up at a pro show now and win the Olympia, right?
Right.
Because Bumster's going to fucking smoke him, or a legit classic pro is going to show him.
It's funny. It's funny how everything has a way of working itself out the way it's supposed to, right?
The end.
Like nobody cares who won the national show 10 years ago. They care what you did after you got your pro card.
Right. Because you get guys that turn pro as a masters, right?
Yeah.
Like, I got my pro card. I'm like, okay, now do something with it.
Yeah.
Right.
The other thing, the other reason why I don't know people are so upset. Back in the day, I used to understand why somebody was upset because you only had like one chance to get a pro card or maybe two, and they gave away, and they would only give away like 1 or 2 pro cards at a show.
Yeah, it was very exclusive.
Now it's like, okay, fine. So this guy didn't get his pro card at Callum's show because Callum's popular. There's probably another pro qualifier like fucking 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it. Like
there's one today.
Yeah, like it's not the end of the world anymore if you miss a show and don't get your pro card. There's other pro qualifiers.
There's a ton of them now.
Yeah. If you were a rap artist, what would you call yourself? Let's skip that one. I'd be hostile. Anyway. Would you rather be able to extract your lats into wings and fly around, or be able to turn your lats into 2 extra arms so you could have 4 arms at a time?
What fly?
I'd rather fly for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I'd love to fly.
Who the fuck doesn't want to fly?
I'd love to fly.
Where would you go, Paul?
I don't know if I'd go anywhere particular, or if I would just, swoop
fly around,
observe. I mean, it'd be great for traveling.
Wait a minute, did you say swoop down on people?
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be great for going somewhere too. If I got to go to the gym, beach driving, I just fly right to the gym, no traffic.
Okay, I'd swoop down on people. And do what? Having a hard time drinking plenty of water during the day. Any recommendations on how to actually enjoy drinking water? Yep. I'm a advocate of Mio and sugar-free Kool-Aid.
Yep.
I know people are like, oh, that's so chemical, blah, 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 but
whatever.
Sorry, man. I guzzle like 6 to 8 liters a day. So
if that's what it takes to get it down.
One thing I'll say is it doesn't negate the taste thing, but if someone's struggling to get the water in, if you wake up and drink a 24-ounce shaker of water before you do anything else, you will drink more for the rest of the day.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah, I could see that.
Because you'll get thirsty. It will just kickstart, and you'll piss a lot more, but your body will be like, oh, I need water now. Like it's.
You know what? I think he's right, because there's been days where I won't drink any water, and I won't be thirsty till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Is that because it's sort of like out of your head now? Like when you wake up, if you get up in the morning and drink 24 ounces of water right away, it's sort of in your head all day now to stay hydrated?
No. I think he's saying
mechanism.
I think he's saying physiologically you'll get more thirsty. Yeah.
Well, It's also the same thing, right? If you wake up, if I tell you, hey, tomorrow you're only allowed like a bowl of oats and a piece of chicken, right? And you can either have it at meal 1 or at the end of the day. I promise you it's easier if you have it at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%.
Like if you don't put anything in your stomach, initially, it's much easier to go without eating.
It's definitely easier to fast if you don't eat. So yeah, I guess the same thing would work for water too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's skip that. What would you recommend for joint pain, stiffness, and mobility?
DECA.
Better diet. DECA.
I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going back to your fish oil sales pitch.
Well, the first thing. Well, I like fish oil. Yeah, you don't think that's true?
No, I just remember we had this question like 2
We
weeks ago.
always have this question. It's
and
the regular.
You advocated and I went and bought the high potency fish oil.
The Nutri-C fish oil. Yeah.
I bought that. Actually, I bought 2. I bought an algae one and the Nutri-C one.
Yeah. So I'll say. So yeah, we'll just touch on it real quick since we've touched on it before. Better diet, because shit diets cause inflammation, like high processed food, high sugar diets. So better diet is number 1. Then adding supplements like fish oil. I take a teaspoon a day. So if you want to maybe 2 teaspoons a day, it's like 5 grams per teaspoon. On the liquid, take the liquid. That way you don't have to smash like 5 massive pills. And then ice. I do the heat before training. So like Tiger Balm or something with 11% menthol or more before training, and then ice after training.
How much else you can do, really?
Anything you want to add to that? Anybody?
Collagen, maybe. Some people find some relief with that.
Yeah.
But that's really. I mean, I think glucosamine is very not used much anymore.
I wouldn't waste your fucking money on that.
Yeah,
shit.
it's been debunked now, pretty much.
Curcumins are pretty obvious, and it's like
curcumin's important. Yeah.
Information, but outside of that, I think you're just chasing around.
Yeah.
What would be the difference if you burn 400 calories on a walk versus on the Stairmaster, for example? What is the difference? What difference does the heart rate do? I don't think there's any difference. 400 calories is 400 calories, right?
Well, no. If you burn those calories from doing sprints versus like an hour walk, you're gonna burn more muscle glycogen, right?
Well, I'm just going by. He said, let's assume you could do it on a walk, because he said, what's the difference if you burn 400 calories on a walk versus on a Stairmaster?
Wouldn't you get more of a synergistic effect from a Stairmaster?
No.
Like a carryover effect of calorie burning? No. I just thought because of a higher intensity cardio, you might get more of a synergistic effect from it.
No, if you do high intensity cardio, like HIIT cardio, you're going to get a little bit of afterburn, but it's minimal. It's not like anything worth like I wouldn't change. I wouldn't.
But if you're not doing true HIIT though, if you're just doing quicker cardio, so like not true lifts, you are going to burn more calories from glycogen than you will do from.
Yes, agreed.
Right. Yeah.
So this question has a lot of caveats. All I'm saying is if I could wave a magic wand and just walking at a normal walking pace somehow magically burn the same amount of calories as a Stairmaster, what I'm going to say is it doesn't matter. That's 400 calories either way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only reason I would pick a different form of cardio, one over the other, is if I had to like run to burn the same amount of calories, I wouldn't run. Right. Or if I was on the Stairmaster and I was getting like a massive, like if my legs were burning at the end of every session, I would not do the Stairmaster, because now I'm like, okay, that's affecting my muscle too much.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you all have a specific type of mattress? I sleep on my sofa currently because I sink in a regular mattress and it kills my back. I'm only 220 pounds, so I figure y'all would have real problems. What kind of mattress do you use, guys? Ben?
So we went and bought a Tempur-Pedic.
Yeah.
It's fucking firm as hell, and it's got a 10-year guarantee on it.
Yeah.
But that's when I basically blew out my back, I was sleeping on the floor because I couldn't sleep on a mattress, so we went and bought that. And my bed does all kinds of funky shit.
Yeah.
It's got a remote control with it and everything.
Oh, you got one of the ones that like moves up and down shit? Yeah. That's what What do you got,
And
Paul?
it vibrates. Mine vibrates as well.
It vibrates. Does that help during sex? Like if you're laying there and she gets on top and you turn on the vibration, is it like she's using a dildo?
Yeah, but unless I get in sync with the vibration, then it nullifies it. It
doesn't do anything.
You're both moving the same thing. You're like, oh, I'm not going in or out. I'm just staying in position. You're just kind of doing that.
Yeah, you just got one of those beds, didn't you, Fouad?
I don't think I have a vibrating. I've used a vibrating bed, but I don't think I have one.
No. I mean, you got like one of those Sleep Country beds, you know that.
So I just bought. So my wife bought like the super fucking cushy mattress, and it's got like an indentation of where I sleep now because it's so fucking mushy. So I had to get rid of it. So I have one on order currently. It should be in any time now. You can get mattresses that have different strengths. So like in one mattress. So my side of the bed is like firm and her side of the bed is soft. And we also got it so that we can move each side individually. So like I can put my head up a little bit so I don't snore. You know, she can put her feet up.
So you got the same one as me, but you upgraded to the split. I didn't get a split.
Oh, your whole bed moves together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like another $3,000 for the split. I'm like, I'm not paying the bed was expensive enough.
Yeah, but they had like a 0% interest. Don't pay for fucking 2 years. I'm like, cool. I'll use
free money.
Free money.
So for us, like, cool. Let's get it. Hey, 10 more clients. So I'm going to do a program for 12 weeks.
Special if we had got a mattress in December.
I read an article about because I was having some lower back issues for a little while, and I think it was from our mattress. So I read an article about it. So they say if you're a back sleeper, you should have a stiff mattress. Yeah. But if you're a side sleeper, you should have a soft mattress. That way your hips and shoulders can sort of. I don't think those things apply to bigger guys. Yeah, maybe not.
Because your spine shouldn't be like your spine when you're sleeping on your side. Your spine should still be straight.
Right. That's what a lot of people put the pillow between their knees and stuff like that to keep.
Yeah,
their,
but if you're a big guy and you have a soft mattress, your shoulders are going to sink and your spine's going to end up like this way.
Yeah.
The firm one I managed to squish back into place anyway.
What do you mean?
I'm heavy enough that the firm one I still indent.
Yeah, but not like you would if it was a mushy.
No, that's what I mean. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
If you put like my dad on a mushy one, his spine's going to go nice and neutral.
Yeah. How many more you want to do, guys? We've been on for an hour and a half.
I gotta eat soon.
Are you hungry? Are you hungry, Ben?
I'm fucking starving. And I went to that gas thing last night and I had a bunch of donuts and I didn't eat a single one.
Did you tell Patrick?
Honestly.
Oh, you didn't eat. I
didn't have any. I bought a fucking box back for Denise and the stepsons, and that's over there. I'm like,
but if you ate the donuts, you'd be bigger, and your off season would be better.
My face would be fucking bigger. Yes.
But your pump would
already.
Your pump would be insane today.
Yeah.
I don't even. I'm on a rest day. No pump. I might go to IHOP in the morning though.
Oh man, I miss IHOP. We don't have IHOP here.
No. Oh, I was gonna say, what do you mean you miss IHOP? You're not on diet?
No.
What do you got? What do you have? Do you have Denny's or?
We have Denny's, but I have to drive a little bit.
Denny's.
We have Denny's in London.
Oh yeah, I'm not driving 2 hours for Denny's.
I would drive
go to Detroit all the time, but
I would drive to 2 hours for Denny's.
Just for Denny's?
You don't have like any pancake houses near you?
I haven't had a good breakfast like in a long time, like with a lot of pancakes and shit.
I do love IHOP. IHOP's like fucking
My brother, I remember after what show? I forget what show I did. I think it was it Tampa? You were with us, right?
Yeah.
So my brothers come to Tampa in 2009. That's the show I should have won, by the way, but whatever. Anyway, so I go to Tampa in 2009, and afterwards my brother's like, "Okay, I'm gonna take us all to tea." So we go for sushi. And we fucking kill a ton of sushi. And then I'm like, he's like, are you good? I'm like, I'm still hungry. So we got in a cab and we all went to IHOP. We fucking just crushed it.
Yeah.
Don't you notice every time you start dieting, some restaurant will come out with like a special meal of some sort?
Yeah. What was it, Fouad? I remember
they had like strawberry pancakes or some shit. I can't remember.
It was something,
Strawberry French toast or something. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I had it in my head for like 11 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, so we ate the sushi, and I'm like, I was still thinking about IHOP. So we went to IHOP, and I fucking got it all in. But
yeah.
Well, before I kind of got serious with actually not being a fat piece of shit, every time I came into Texas, we would get a Whataburger. And then every time I'd leave Texas, I'd get IHOP. Like there'd be, because I'd fly out in the morning. Yeah. I normally fly out early in the morning. I normally come in later in the afternoon. So when I got in, we'd get Whataburger. And then when I'd leave, we get breakfast and get IHOP.
Yeah, but if you get IHOP and then you get on a plane, you're gonna shit your pants the whole time you're on the plane. So you're like the smelly guy in the back who's farting the whole.
Shit my pants.
But you're farting the whole time because you just had IHOP, and now you're on a plane. Now you're on a plane for 6 hours.
All those particles in the air.
Yeah, but hang on. Yeah, but you can fart on a plane and no one hears it.
Yeah, but they smell it.
But you do this. You go. Let it creak out, and then you're like,
oh. No, but they always assume it's you because you're the big guy.
Yeah, it's the big guy for sure.
Because for sure, I always like if it stinks, I'm like, even if it wasn't me, I'm like, for sure, everybody thinks that fart came from me.
Yeah, you gotta leave.
That's just your paranoia. I just assume no one notices me.
Ignorance is bliss. Everybody knows it was you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we'll do a couple more, and then I'm getting hungry too. You know what? I've left this on my desk now, because I've been feeling like hypo from time to time. So I figure if I'm done the podcast and I get hypo, I can crack a Coca-Cola and get my sugar fix.
You come planned. You come prepared.
I come prepared. The podcast is important, man. I got to stay on top of it.
You didn't want to use a banana or something, no?
It's not fast enough. You don't give a diabetic a fucking banana. If a diabetic's having a diabetic attack, you don't give him a banana.
I've tested how much sugar it takes to pull me out of a hypo.
Yeah.
So I actually waited. I took insulin and then I I had the food in front of me and I just waited until I started feeling. It is surprisingly small how much fucking carbs you need to pull you out of a hypo.
Yeah,
I got it down to 20. I got it down to 20 grams of cyclic dextrin. Pull me out.
But it doesn't feel
really
like
quick.
That. But it doesn't feel like that when you're having a hypo attack.
No, but that's what I mean. So you know when these people I'm talking about bodybuilders.
Yeah, yeah.
And they start getting hypo and they eat fucking everything.
That's me. Like, I will drink
and then,
this.
And then they're like, and then they go, "Oh, I got fat." I'm like, "Hey, yeah, because you're a lazy fucking pig, right?" Yes.
It's not because I'm a lazy pig. It's because I'm terrified. So when I start,
I'm telling you, 20 to 25 grams of cyclic dextrin, and you're good.
I know,
and that's consistent every time.
And I'm saying,
I did it enough times to
really,
make sure. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm saying from now on, I will do that. But what I also am saying is, in the past, whenever I went hypo, I would get so scared, or not even so scared. I just didn't like the feeling, and I wanted to go away. I would like,
and you like food, so you were like, "It's an excuse."
Bingo, right there.
It's an excuse to eat cereal because I've done it, and I went, "I'm going to hypo. I've got to eat that whole box of fucking cereal and a Mars bar, and that cake and the bread, and I'm gonna make. And while I'm here, I'm gonna make French toast, which is gonna take me 40 minutes to fucking make.
Listen,
otherwise I might die.
Last time I went hypo. I finished a workout. I ate a meal. And then I was taking a shower to get ready to go out. It was the night we went out for dinner, like, I don't know, it was like a month ago, Paul.
Yeah.
So while I'm in the shower, I start feeling the hypo come on. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I better go make some food. So I go downstairs and I put a pot of pasta on. And I'm like, I'm going to make pasta. By the time it's done, I'll eat and I won't be hypo anymore. But all of a sudden, the hypo like sped up. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So now the water is boiling and the pasta's on, but I'm like freaking out.
Yeah, and you're sweating. And
and I'm sweating like crazy now. I'm like, okay, I got to go back and shower again now. Fuck. But I'm like, I got to get this to go away. So I put 4 slices of Ezekiel bread in the toaster and I made peanut butter. And I made
comes to fucking.
Yeah, but those were quick. So then I made peanut butter and honey sandwiches. So I ate 4 peanut butter and honey sandwiches.
And then pasta.
And then the pasta was done. So I ate the pasta.
And we went to dinner.
And wait a minute. The pasta wasn't done. And I was really freaking out because I was dripping sweat. So while I was eating the peanut butter and honey sandwiches, I had some Ben and Jerry's.
Wait. Why the fuck are you putting peanut butter on it to pull you out of a hypo? Because it's going to slow down your digestion of it.
I knew that, but I was eating the ice cream too. So I thought the ice cream with the peanut butter and honey sandwiches would all work together.
You just wanted to eat shit.
Yeah.
Because what you could have done is go out of the shower, walk downstairs, got your tub of Hostile R3 intro, whatever it is. One scoop, bang, back in the shower, you're done.
Yeah, that could have been it.
Then he consumed 20,000 calories. But in a matter of like 45 minutes.
But Ben, I'm bulking, and it wouldn't have helped. It wouldn't have been very useful to not eat all that food. So
okay, my point being for product placement, lose the can of Coke and just put your intra workout there.
That's right.
Yeah.
From now on, if I'm hypo, I will drink intra R3. That's a good point. Okay, one more question and we'll go.
Okay.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen happen in a gym? Remember that old guy was going to fight me? He was half blind. Remember the half blind guy that wanted to fight me because I.
Oh yes.
I slammed a weight, like we were doing lat pull downs. And I was using the stack and I was like, swinging the weight, whatever. And every time I was done, this is back in the day. Every time I was done, there was nobody in the gym. There was like 3 people in the fucking gym. I would just kind of let the bar go and it would slam the weight, right?
Right.
So this older guy, he's like half blind. He used to walk around in like shadow box.
Yeah.
Anyway, his old girlfriend had her phone. You know how when you're on the lat pull down station, there's other stations? So there was a cable row, like a low cable row bench. She had her phone there. And every time I would do a set, the phone would bounce closer to the edge. Mm-hmm. And I think on the 3rd set, the phone bounced and fell off the bench. So he comes storming over. It's like, and we almost got a brawl. And Paul,
then he was threatening to call Hell's Angels come kill us and stuff. Yeah, he was nuts, that guy.
He's like, you want me to call so-and-so? And I'm like, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to get a visit. But he's like, you want me to call so-and-so? And I'm like, no, just calm the fuck down, man. I'm like, and in my head, I'm thinking to myself, what do I do here? If I fight this guy to beat him up, I'm the guy who beat up an old half-blind guy. but the guy was probably tough. Like, he seemed like he might be tough. So I'm like, if I don't fight this guy, then I walked away from a half-blind old guy. I'm like, there's like a lose-lose situation at this point.
Hey, a win is a win.
Remember that one time, Fouad? Remember this one time we borrowed some weights from the gym for our show for the pump-up room? And then we were like, I think we brought them back like on the Monday instead of the Sunday like we were supposed to. And there was this one guy at the gym. Remember this guy from the gym? He used to go hang out in the change rooms all the time, and he used literally use a face towel for the towel to cover himself with, and he put this
I do remember that guy.
little safety pin to keep it up, just flaming, right? And remember, so he wrote a letter to the gym like, I don't know who Fouad thinks he is, but those weights aren't his or for all the members here, blah blah blah. It was like one day without a 30-pound barbell or something like that. So we saw him in the gym. You're like, there's that guy. I'm gonna go talk to him. So he was on a treadmill upstairs. So you go marching upstairs after him, and then remember, he's on the treadmill. Fouad comes up and starts barking. The guy, he literally went and he was so scared of you, and he ran out of the gym and never saw him in the gym again after that.
Well, I'm like, why are you shitting on me? I don't have the weights at my house. We used them for a show we were promoting,
and it was one 30-pound barbell that we didn't bring back on time or something. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy.
Ben, do you got anything before you go? Any good crazy stories?
I can't think of anything.
You're too hungry. That's why.
Yeah.
I need a piss. That's what.
Okay.
I'm
Let's wrap up. We've been on for 2 hours. I think we answered some good questions. I can probably answer more on another day, but
and no arguments, no arguing. It was
me and you don't argue. Me and you debate.
I poke the bear. That's what I do.
Yeah, but I recognize it now, so I don't fall into that trap anymore. Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'll put this up soon. Paul, we're gonna train legs today, right?
Yeah. What time?
I don't know, but Ben, should we do 10 sets of 10?
Squats?
Yeah.
Just
go to the gym.
You're not gonna get a lower back pump from hell doing that.
What if we just did 10 sets of 10 and left? Didn't do anything else.
No, why don't you do your railroads? You love those.
Oh no, not today.
Sorry, Paul. Sorry, Paul.
All right, guys. We'll talk.
Okay. I'll call you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye, Ben.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.